Hi, everybody. It's Mike from Here the Watchmen. You know, it's great to be here this morning. We are back from Here the Watchmen, Dallas, Texas. And it's what a wonderful event that was. And today, as usual, once a week, Mark Sutherland and I are going to give you a piece of our minds about what's going on in America and what's going on in Britain. Mark, thanks for joining us this morning.
It's an absolute pleasure, my brother, and good to see you. It's a shame about the distance. It was fantastic to be with you last weekend, but there's now just under 5,000 miles between us.
It was truly amazing. I mean, you know, folks, we had people from New Zealand there, Canada, of course, Nova Scotia. It was insane. I mean, it was just
Australia as well as.
Yeah, it was just amazing. I mean, Here the Watchman, as you mentioned while we were off air, truly has become an international event. With that in mind, I just want to remind everybody, don't forget about this, okay? That is our spiritual warfare training workshop led by Russ Dizdar. That will be May 31st through June 2nd at the Hyatt Regency, Long Island, New York. And you know, you want to go to our website, hearthewatchman.com, and you want to register by April 15th because you'll save $100 per person based on the initial package that we put together there. You know, it's just going to be a great conference. Coach Dave will be there. Russ Dizdar will be there. Shelley Dizdar will be there. Sherry Clausen will be there. Tom Dunn will be there. And it's set up to be a small, limited group where we're truly going to get focused on teachings and learning on how to conduct spiritual warfare. The other thing that's really going to be a lot of fun is on Sunday, after the event, we have set up a post-event trip to New York to see a special play called Revelation the Musical. Requires a separate ticket. That's all explained on our website. But we're going to go to town. We're going to have enough time to go out and eat or go do some shopping, then go to see the play where we'll go to meet the cast and just have a great time. I mean, you're already all the way in New York. Why not enjoy it? Why not enjoy it? Now, I have some breaking news that I'm going to get to after I mention I don't know if you guys can see this, our Alaska Inside Passage cruise, August 23rd through the 30th. Just going to be a lot of fun. We're just going to go and we're going to pray together. We're just going to spend time fellowshipping and enjoying all of the beauty that God provides us and appreciate it on each and every day. So go to our website. You can see that there as well. Now, here's the breaking news. We're going to California. It's going to be an amazing conference. October 11th through the 13th, 11, 12, and 13. It will be in Irvine, California at the John Wayne Airport Hilton Hotel. Beautiful hotel. The title of the conference, and this is hot off the press, is Disclosure on the Coast, Prophecy Uncensored. Uncensored is me. Uncensored. And it will truly be a time where you will be told the truth about what is going on. And you know what? We're having a few different, and my dog's very excited about that. You can hear her barking in the background. We're stirring it up a little bit. It's not going to be the same crew there. We have a pastor by the name of Phil Core, amazing guy. Stephen Bankars will be there. Josh Peck will be there. They will be presenting together. Pastor Paul Bagley, Gans Shimura, Troy Anderson, who is the co-author with Paul Bagley on several of their books. Paul Bagley will be there. Michael Boldea will be there. We have a couple other people we'll be announcing soon, but it's truly going to be a time to look at as I was revealed today in a dream, that it really always is darkest before the dawn. And so we're in that period, especially in California, where it's very dark, but there's hope. And so we're really looking forward to this. Tickets will go on sale late today, and you can access those on our website. And we're really hoping that this will bless as many people as we possibly can. So we hope to see you there. Jeannie's going to try and calm the dogs down somehow. Bear with us here, folks. It's the mountains here. I don't know what they've found out there, but they've found something. Oh, the big dog found the little dog. Okay, that's good. Mark, let's get started here. It's been hard for me to contain myself the past day here because, I keep looking at my favorite person in politics. Would have been my favorite bartender back in the day, I'm sure. None other than Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Now, what does she do this week? Okay. She goes to speak to a predominantly African-American congregation, and she puts on a fake accent. And she says, ain't nothing wrong with being a bartender. Well, okay, no, there's nothing wrong with being a bartender. Some of my best friends used to be bartenders. Okay. However, personally, I'd like to see something a little different on the resume for someone that's going to serve in Congress. Like maybe they have a law degree or a master's in history, American history, or something like that. If you have a master's in mixology, I don't know. It might be good. I'm not saying it's not. But then she moves on, okay, and she says that she completely backs the American farmer, so long as they don't use any gas or diesel-powered farm equipment. Now, okay, so you want us to go back to the days of mules and horses, and because there is no solar powered or electric farm equipment yet. I mean, the woman is like off her rocker, Then she and Beto, what a pair. I mean, I really think that they should get married so that it could be Alexandria Cortez-Cortasio Beto. It would be great.
Yeah.
But he comes out and says that absolutely, if he's president, he will put into place reparations for slavery. And she jumps on the bandwagon too. And then our other friend over here, Bernie Sanders, comes out and says that all felons locked up in prison should be allowed to vote. What? We've lost our mind, Mark. What do you think?
Well, we have totally lost our mind. We completely lost our mind. I think Alexandria has lost her mind while she's assembling something that looks like some kind of IKEA piece of furniture, where she's got a glass of alcohol in her hand, and then it seems to completely lose control and maybe even not. No wonder she can't put any words together. But I thought after working in a sort of bartender situation, you might have had more control over that kind of thing. Maybe that was the mixology degree that part she failed in. It's deeply, 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 deeply maddening, concerning, because basically they're on the left. I mean, Beto O'Rourke described Donald Trump as a Nazi. I think this week, according to something. No, he's not. And just by the way, Beto O'Rourke, here's the clue. Nazi, National Socialist Workers' Party. As far as I'm concerned, your politics are the fact that you are some kind of social democrat, if not some kind of socialist. And this is mad. And then remember that Beto O'Rourke stood next door to that other amazing person of virtue, Al Sharpton, when he talked about, the reparations as well. They're playing to a crowd. There's tons of label lynching going on over here. And remember, people, we are in the biggest spiritual battle of our lifetime. And don't think that these things are not these kind of discussions and stuff that's coming out over here. Because it is. I mean, and obviously spiritually, you know, these people are working together. They're phoning each other up and seeing how much destruction they can do. So we've got that, and we have to, you know, have our arguments 100%. Hopefully, engage some of these people that actually believe in all this and come up with some good discourse, and to say that you're going down the wrong line. And no, Mike, it's infuriating. It's infuriating. And on the one hand, but if it wasn't so funny when they're just coming out with stuff,
it is infuriating. And
I mean, you know, there she. I was going to say, sorry, there she is saying it. So basically, you want all the food production to be done without diesel, you know, gas, whatever. So basically, you want to starve the population. It's bad enough with these awful floods that have gone on in a certain part of the United States. It's terrible that has happened, and the cost effect on the particular harvest that's been damaged by that. So what would she say about that? It's maddening. It's absolutely maddening to me.
You know, and here's the deal, Mark. I mean, I never thought that there would be a single word that came out of Barack Obama's mouth that I even remotely agreed with. But he has come out and said that these ultra left-wing liberals, what they're doing is creating a circular firing squad, and it's going to take down the Democratic Party. Now, it's not like I would shed a tear if we lost the Democrats. However, they'll be replaced with the socialists. So that is a problem. You know, that is a problem. And so, you know, we just ask, you know, around the world, the people listening to this, pray for America. You know, pray for Donald Trump. I mean, yeah, and this is the last thing I'm going to say, and then we're going to get to your side of the pond. But, you know, Donald Trump came out and said on this whole Russia probe thing that the people who were responsible for putting this whole thing in play should be arrested and tried for treason. And everybody attacks him for saying that, right? Saying, oh, no, that's not right. Why not? You know, why not? So that's the crazy world we live in. And you know, Jeannie was having a conversation. This is blows my mind, with a college student, and was trying to give this college student some advice on seeking a job and what to do. And I think she mentioned maybe, you know, should kind of do something in the sales and marketing arena. And this student said, I don't want to do something like that where you get the capitalist agenda out there and you shove, you know, stuff down people's throats that they don't want. And I was like, oh my God, there we go. Well, of course, while they were probably wearing, you know, $200 earbuds and all that stuff. But I mean, that and you know what I got to say? It's not the college kids' fault, because that's what they're being indoctrinated with. And it's kind of our fault because we allowed that to happen. So, but hey, you got a lot going on over there. I mean, well, I don't know I don't even know how to begin with, like, how long is this Brexit thing going to go on?
Well, yes, that's a very good question. As you know, I'm wearing my fireworks shirt because basically I feel as though that I want to get hold of sort of Guido Fawkes and take him into Westminster at the moment and sort of re-celebrate. Yes, it's interesting. I was just saying to you off air that, you know, Tuesday I landed back at 7 a.m. in the morning from Dallas, and then within a number of hours sort of felt extremely wound up and quite depressed about various things that are going on here. There's a link here, Mike. You've just used a word. President Trump said that every person that, you know, was pushing the Mueller thing, et cetera, should be arrested for treason. Well, we have treasonous attitudes over here. So 17,410,752 people, with a majority of over 1 million, voted out in regard to the referendum for us to leave the EU, not leave to stay in the single market, not leave to stay in the customs union, but leave means leave. And as Mrs. May has said, we're all Brexiteers now. Well, you're not a Brexiteer, love, are you? And it's the treachery abound. So this week, the vote to take a no deal completely off the table in law, that we will not be able to leave the EU without a deal. So a no deal has been voted off the table by the House of Commons, by members of Parliament. But let's just talk about what happened, because you can't make it up. And I've forgotten the MP's name, and I've actually put this on my Facebook page today. But there was an MP that got arrested for a speeding fine, right? Put in prison, and then done 28 days, and then was released. She's still representing the constituency of Peterborough. Let's just call her out. And until people of that Labour Party association get together to vote her to stand down, so she gets out. She has a tag on her, right? And she goes into the House of Commons and votes. And believes it or not, it's her vote that pushes it over the line. Pushes it over the line by one vote. So let's just say it how it is, because I am not, frankly, in the mood to hold back, because we have to start to join the dots. And the dots are this, is that our fight is not against, our fight is against globalists. It's between nationalism and globalism. So the MP, Yvette Cooper, that called this, was very interesting if you look back at her reaction over the fact that President Trump won the election in November. The poor woman, well, why am I saying poor woman? The woman practically on Question Time was having a meltdown because it didn't fit her liberal progressive agenda. She's married to a man called Ed Balls that used to be Chancellor of the Exchequer. There is a deliberate reason why I'm telling you this. I'm telling all the dear people that watch this, and especially on your side of the pond, is because we have globalist infiltration, and it's only until we begin to wake up and God reveals the truth to us and we start reading, we start gathering in all the information, we realize what's going on. So Ed Balls was her husband was very aligned with Gordon Brown, our previous prime minister. And there's a very, very interesting video which I wish I could find of him with Gordon Brown with Rockefeller being basically camera bombed by Sean of SGT, talking about globalist aspirations and all the rest. It's out there. People think we're conspiracy lunatics. We're not. This is what is all being exposed. And what's being exposed on our side of the pond is that the House of Commons is Remainist, will not respect the democratic vote of the people. And frankly, if we do not leave the EU without a deal, I say it calmly, our democracy is finished. We have gone, and we don't need to have a deal. We can trade with under Article 24 of WTO rules. And the last thing to say right now, before I take a breath, is this key thing, is that Mrs. May's deal is not a deal. It leaves us leaving in name only. It leaves us as a vassal state. And what we've got coming up behind that no one is talking about on this side of the pond is the Lisbon Treaty, right? Which basically would mean that next year we take the euro. We can't leave. And the reason why the European Union are absolutely keep visiting the John too much over this whole issue is because if we leave, we take £9 billion. We pay, say, 13 billion a year, and we get 4 billion back in rebate, and that is going to end. That is going to end soon. Now, we will then take that money out of the loop, and you have got a German economy that's gone into recession. You've got Italy in very serious trouble. Plus, Italy has a government that is not pro-EU and would like to sort that out, get out, I think. Then you've got what's going on in France. France's economy is an absolute joke. So all of this going on, and we have a situation where we need to send Oliver Cromwell, if he was alive today, and dig him up, back into the House of Commons to kick out all those scumbags, as Richard Harris said in the 1970s film about Cromwell and what happened, and the total disrespect to the people that voted, and when you've got people now calling, oh, we need to have a second referendum. And I'll tell you what, just finally, one of your dear friends, Piers Morgan, if you could see Piers Morgan over here at the moment, that man is doing a good job. I would never have thought I'd fully back him, but I'll tell you what, he is changing his mind about certain things. And the reason why we know he's changing his mind is because a dear friend of his is president of the United States. And he has been absolutely lambasting anyone that goes on the morning television program that he hosts. And he's just saying, look, we've already had a vote. He said, if we had another referendum, he said, I will vote to leave. And we are seeing our democracy under attack. This is what people voted for. They voted to leave with a clear majority of 1 million. And I will end with this on this. If the Remainers had won, the rest of us who voted to leave would have had to take that on the chin. And if we had still been 3 years later moaning about this, the Remainers would have gone, look, we've had, a democratic decision. We won. They're not being very democratic. Well, I'll tell you what, it's the other way round. And the Remainers, through Best for Britain, through George Soros, through funding and giving money, whether that's paying for MPs to fly to Washington or whatever, or to go on a short trip to Europe, right? And if you go through the Leave EU website, and I posted that on my Facebook page, and you go through and you see where various MPs are being paid, you and I can smell the propaganda, and we smell the propaganda. And again, what frustrates me at times is the facts are not out there. This is, if we don't leave, we are then looking, as far as I'm concerned, at total tyranny. And Mrs. May, at the last hurdle, you wonder whether this whole thing is planned, because she said today this: we either leave with my deal or we don't leave at all. And the DUP are holding like a bulwark, and they will not sign this. And the other members of the Conservative Party will not sign this. And now she's turned to a total communist Marxist, Mr. Corbyn, to go and say, well, we need to sit down and discuss and work out how we can do this. Well, Corbyn is frankly another liar, because Corbyn all his life has been anti-EU. And even though it's a little bit of a bait and switch game with him and smoke and mirrors, he's anti the EU because it's not the kind of socialism that he would really, really want. But he's anti the EU. And suddenly he seems pro about us staying in and all the rest, because it's about power. Now, yeah, I'm pretty pissed about it, and so are a number of people. And I don't excuse for using that word, but that is how people are feeling up and down this country. And if you spoke to dear friends of mine who are a lot older than me, are very, very angry as well, and also younger people. Goes across the whole generational range in regard to voting to leave. And also, we don't believe the polls, but the mood more and more, I think, in this country is saying, look, I might have voted Remain, but I do not want to see democracy of this country undermined. We voted out. Let's get on with it. We are the second biggest net contributor to the EU. I do not see what MPs are worried about. We need to find our testicles and flipping get out. We are capable, more than capable of surviving. We are more than capable of signing new trade deals with America and other countries around the world. We are more than capable of reinvigorating our relationships with the Commonwealth countries, which we sacrificed when we joined the EU in 1973, thanks to that Ted Heath. And you can fill in the blank before. This is the truth of it. We lost our sovereignty in 1973. And we either believe that we are a country or not. Every single region outside London wants us to leave the European Union. It's just this whole thing of Londoners and the selfishness of us. Basically, it's the power. It's the people holding the power. We are ready to go, and we're ready to get on with it. And if you had asked me 3 years ago, would I have imagined that as a nation we would have been in this position? No, I didn't. To some extent, I then get very angry thinking I never saw this coming. But a number of people also would say the same thing. And I would say this: please pray for the UK. because on the 12th of April, this is the key thing. So it's the 7th of April today. In 5 days' time, we could be leaving the EU. There is a potential court challenge going on, or maybe a court challenge going on, that actually meant that legally we did leave on the 29th of March anyway. So there is shenanigans, there is real shenanigans going on behind the scene. And I turn around and say, you know, to the MPs in the House of Westminster, and some of them are now being deselected. On all sides, there's going to be moves to deselect MPs that did this. Is why do you want to stay in when you can win your freedom back and all the rest? What are you gaining out of this? And cynically, we end up saying, is it because they're going to be assigned certain jobs? Are they being paid off or whatever? We can make as many assumptions that in some ways right now we can't prove, and I don't necessarily want to see that information. That information will come out further down the line. But we voted to leave, and that's it. And of course, as you can imagine, even for me, it creates a strain. People may not be talking to certain individuals and all this kind of thing. But what we have to face is this: is that we are in the biggest constitutional crisis in my lifetime, if ever, of this as a nation, and we need to remember Magna Carta of 1215, which is what your constitution written in 1787 is actually based on. And we seem to have completely and utterly lost the plot on this, and we have a treacherous group of people in Westminster Parliament who do not want to accept the democratic will of the people. And time will tell. This is the biggest spiritual battle of my lifetime and everyone else. And all I can say is, please, we just passionately, we need your prayers, because the lunatics have completely and utterly taken over the asylum.
Wow, you know, well said, Mark. And you know, you wore the correct shirt today. I mean, the shirt you're wearing is absolutely perfect for what. And we over here on this side of the pond are praying for you. But you know, I mean, you look at what's going on in America, you look at what's going on in Britain, it totally is a globalist attack on our way of lifestyle. It's a spiritual attack, a demonic attack. I think you and I feel the same regarding George Soros, and that's just what's going on in the world. Now, in wrapping up the show today, we've got a few more minutes, I did come across some good news. I mean, some really good news.
Oh, great.
There is a new movie, and I'm asking you all to go out and support it. It was produced by a Christian studio about a former employee of an organization that provides abortions. And they've now become a pro-life activist. The movie is called Unplanned, and it has done $8.6 million in North America, according to Box Office Mojo. The film is in 4th place for the week. I can't believe this. Behind Dumbo, Us, and Captain Marvel. You know, but hey, it's a win. So get out there and check out the movie Unplanned. And if you're in a major city, because it is not being released across the country at this point, but based on that opening week, I'm sure it will be. Hopefully we can get it to beat Dumbo. But, you know, guys, it's a wild, wild world out there. So Mark and I, I'm speaking for you, Mark, but Mark and I are asking you all to pray for our countries, to pray for the end to the spiritual attacks, and to lift us up as Christians and let our light shine on everyone else. Any closing remarks, Mark?
Except that you know, I like what you were saying about there is hope, and the hope is in Jesus, and that's our number one message that we need to get out there. and also, just to get informed, gather all that information and to find out what's going on and to care and to invade in prayer.
Amen. Well, listen, thanks for joining us today, folks. This is the weekly edition of The Wrap with Mark Sutherland and Mike Kerr here on The Watchman's Journey. And as we always say, there's nothing you can't do with Jesus in your heart, except nothing at all. And as a matter of fact, if you're doing nothing at all, stop doing it. Get out there, activate your faith, make a difference in the world. God bless each and every one of you. We'll see you next time here on The Watchman's Report.